Hello everyone, welcome back to the Sweet Star Candle YouTube channel, and today I wanted to share with you how I would get started with candle making for less than $125. So the first thing you need to get started with candle making is figuring out which method you want to use to get your wax melted. The cheapest way to do this is the double boiler method. I'll have a link to a double boiler method tutorial. If you want an easier way of melting wax, I would recommend purchasing an electric hot plate. Usually with candle making tip videos, it is recommended that you must use a Presto pot or a wax warmer. I personally prefer those when working with large quantities of wax, but for those in the beginning, an electric hot plate with a metal pitcher will allow you to have more time to work with the wax and understand the process more. I have a link to both wax warmers and the electric hot plate I personally use for getting started. The electric hot plate will be great for a beginner. It's $27. Any method you go with will be pretty pricey. Besides from the double boiler method, you just have to decide what method you would prefer to use. Next is what we will be putting our wax in. I personally use this metal pitcher. It is great for small batches and individual candles. This one is $12 and is great. Also, Pyrex measuring cups you might already have will work as well. Next is the thermometer. This is an essential part of candle making, so you can add the fragrance oil at the right temperature. I personally use an infrared thermometer. It is great because it is mess free. This one is $10. The one I use for my business is a little pricier, but any of them will do. Next is a scale. This is a candle making essential. This is used for measuring your wax and fragrance oil. The scale is great, and I've used the same one in blue since the beginning of my candle making journey. It is $10 and it works great. Next is what you'll use to mix the fragrance oil, wax, and color together. I personally use a metal mixing spoon. You can often find these included when you purchase a metal pitcher. However, if you have plastic cooking spoons, metal spoons, spatulas, or even unused wooden spoons, these all work perfectly fine for candle making. This set is $10, but you can definitely use what you have. Before going on with the video, I just wanted to let you all know that my Cosmic Candy soap is now available on my website, as well as a restock of the Cosmic Candy Jelly Melts. If you're interested and want to support the channel, I have a link at the top of the description. Now let's get back into the video. Next is the candle wax. The wax I personally use does not come in small enough quantities for this video, but I did find a soy wax on Amazon for $13 and it has good reviews. I also have a link to the wax I use in my personal products. The wax you use depends on what qualities you want to have in your candles. Next is a optional component, but longtime viewers of the channel probably know what I'm going to say. I use mica powder from Nature's Garden. This causes the candles to sparkle when it melts and is often what you see in videos of sparkly wax. It costs very little from Nature's Gardens, and you only need 1/64 teaspoon for a 14-ounce candle, so there's a sprinkle for a large candle. Next, another optional but fun addition is candle dye. I personally use Nature's Gardens liquid candle dye, but any reputable candle supplier will work. Next, your candle jar. This is really dependent on how you want your candles to look. I would recommend going to a close candle supplier so you can see vessels in person and sizes. However, if you want a small candle jar that I've used in a lot of tutorials, it is the Libby Satis jar, 12.25 ounces. It is cute, and you can get a sample one for $2.86 or a dozen for $20. However, if you want to go with a large jar, the one I use for my 14-ounce candles is a 22-ounce Libby jar. It is sort of hard to wick, but you just have to be experimental with wicks once you have chosen what vessel you like best. Next is fragrance oil. If you want to get a particular kind of scent, I would recommend getting scents that are similar to each other from a good manufacturer. My personal favorite fragrance oil manufacturer for specific scents is the Lone Star Candle Company. But if you want to try a range of fragrance oil, I would check out Aztec Candle Supply. They run a deal for 10 1-ounce bottles of fragrance oil for $10, which is great for fragrance oil. Just depends on what you want for your candle, but I'll have links down below to those manufacturers. Next is wooden wicks. If you're going the mica powder candle route, I would recommend wooden wicks from Makesy or Aztec Candle Supply. Aztec is great to get a beginning idea of the size of your wick, and then you can go to Makesy to narrow down your wooden wick. If you plan on selling candles with normal candles, like without mica powder, you can use cotton wicks. I've not personally worked with cotton wicks, so I don't have any recommendations, but I'll have a link to a great video by Black Tie Barn about cotton wicks, which will help you in choosing a cotton wick. He's also a great resource I personally use in the beginning of my business. Next, wooden wick stickers and wooden wick tabs for about $6 for both. I use the ones from Aztec Candle Supply and they work great and are cheap. With wick stickers and wick tabs, I would definitely recommend going with a legitimate candle manufacturer for best results in keeping the wick in place. And finally, optional but highly recommended supplies: isopropyl alcohol, paper towels, a wooden wick trimmer, and a heat gun. You most likely have isopropyl alcohol at home. This is used when cleaning out the vessel before adding in your wick. I use paper towels in this step as well. Next, for a wooden wick trimmer, you can use scissors or a candle wick trimmer, but I have a link to a more heavy duty one that I use. It is more precise than the previous options. And finally, a heat gun, arguably my favorite tool I use. The heat gun is used to heat up the candle jar before pouring in the wax to prevent wet spots. It's also used once the candle has set to level out the top, and is most importantly great for cleaning up pitchers and spoons. I have a link to a video I did on the fastest way I've found to clean up candle wax when using a heat gun. I'll have some affiliate links to the products down below I mentioned in the video. This helps support the channel at no cost to you. Hope this video helps you in your candle making journey. If you have any questions or comments, be sure to put them in the comments below and I'll answer them the best that I can. Thank you everyone for watching, and I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, please be sure to give the video a big thumbs up and subscribe for more candle and wax melt content. Also be sure to check out my shop if you want to support the channel and get some candles, wax melts, or soap. Thank you again for watching, and I will see you guys next week.